Hello there, here is Andy again, and this is my part 2 of the speech about how to convert yourself into audiobooks. And in the previous video, you can find the link below, I talked about first 3 advantages, which was flexibility, that you can mix listening to audiobooks with some mechanical, let's say brainless activities where your mind is free and relaxed, like washing the dishes or taking a walk or cleaning your flat. And so you become a superhuman because you optimize your time, you increase your performance, and you do 2 things at the same time, which is just marvelous. Go for that. The second point was immersiveness, that audiobooks really take you in, and then you kind of live in the world that they create, thanks to the voice acting, thanks to some wonderful tricks that I used when audiobooks are recorded. And so if you choose a person who you like, whose voice you like, it's going to be a majestic experience. And it's something like when somebody reads a fairy tale to you when you're a child. I think it's the same vibe. And the third point was personal improvement, and here I told you that with audiobooks you can really finally meet the books and writers that you haven't been able to read, or you have postponed reading them, and some authors that you were intrigued about and interested. And that's the crucial point, actually. That's the most essential part. So if you choose something that you long to read, that you really wanted to read, it's going to keep you motivated. It's going to keep this spark. And so you have to be very, very careful about choosing the book. Make it something that will catch your attention. Make it something that will keep you fascinated. And so this will help you not to give up the activity. That will keep your interest going. And now the remaining 2 advantages are more linguistical, more about English education, and they are listening improvement and vocabulary improvement. Well, audiobooks are about listening, right? So they're going to contribute a lot to your progress there. When I was a schoolboy, I had a lot of problems with listening. I actually panicked when doing listening tasks, and when you panic, you lose a lot of information, you just miss it, you can't concentrate, and it's not the problem that only I had. I know many of my students have the same issue, and that's a big struggle. And there is no surprise, because here, for example, in Russia, we're not exposed to a lot of English in its audio form. So we kind of, we can read, we can study vocabulary, we can study grammar, we can talk, but listening constantly, that's what's missing, and people choose to ignore that. And that's not the best way to act, right? Because, you might think that, I can speak, I can read, I can write, I know a range of vocabulary, fine, I'm fine, but you go to the airport, it's English. You get on the plane, it's English. You arrive in a foreign country, it's again English. You go to the shop, it's English. And then you want to have a negotiation with your potential business partner, boom, again English. You have to listen and understand. And so you can't ignore it, won't go away. That's why English books suggest massive improvement here, because look, let's imagine that you decide to listen to audiobooks 30 minutes during your commute, 30 minutes to work or to university, and then 30 minutes back. That's 1 hour a day. On average, one audiobook usually takes around 10 hours. So if you listen to an audiobook for 1 hour a day, that is 7 hours a week. And that means that in 2 weeks you can finish 1 book, in 1 month you can finish 2 books, in 1 year you can finish 24 books. And that's half a library. Of course, that's kind of ideal situation, but still, that's a lot. I mean, if I read 20 books a year, I would think I'm doing pretty fine. And actually, I'm very close to that, because this year I have, I think, read already around 15 maybe, just thanks to audiobooks. And you can just calculate how much of listening practice you will have. And that's like, if my student told me that he or she had 7 hours of listening practice a week, I would tell, well, you're doing really, really greatly. I would be so happy for my student, because that's a lot of contribution to their listening skill. And how can you mark your progress? For example, you can choose a song in English that you like, and then listen to that song, and then half a year after you can listen to the song again, and you will see that you can distinguish and understand more words than you used to, and that's incredible. You will feel stronger, you will feel more successful, and also you will videos on YouTube will suddenly make more sense. You will understand more language there. I promise, if you stick to this plan of listening at least, well, let's say 5-7 hours a week, you will start noticing the first substantial results after 1 or 2 months. And that's so relieving, that's so uplifting, that you won't, I promise you won't give audiobooks up ever, because they're going to stay with you and make your life much better, much more saturated with this content that they provide. And finally, vocabulary enhancement. So here, it's obvious that if you are listening to a book, you will hear new words. And now I want to make one video about vocabulary types, and I'm just going to briefly describe what I mean here. There is such vocabulary which you hear and you immediately fall in love with that. You just feel fascinated, like, wow, I love this expression, or I love this word. And this stays with you, especially if you hear it again and again and again. And now imagine, there is a book, there is a writer. Every person has a favorite body of vocabulary, of lexis. And so this writer is going to use the same expressions throughout the whole book. And that means that you will have natural reinforcement, natural repetition of the same vocabulary blocks as you listen to the book. So you will have automatic practice. And there's a high chance that the expressions that you liked will be repeated, and so you will kind of refresh them in your memory, and voila, just some time later you will start using them, and your phonetics is going to improve, because people imitate a lot in their life, and so that's another side. And one more point here is that people usually ignore the fact that repetition, that practice makes perfect, and so ideally you should re-listen to an audiobook. So if you have listened once, it's a good idea to listen twice, maybe after some time, maybe after a year, because you will understand more, you will solidify your knowledge, you will crystallize it, and or take a book that you know well in your own language and then listen to that book in English, and that's going to give you an insight of what was originally put in the book by the writer. Yeah, and let me think if I have forgotten anything important. Yeah, about teachers. Well, you can think how many times teachers actually go through the same material, like the same videos, the same books, the same students' books, the same stuff, and they just do it 5, 10 times. And teachers speak foreign languages because they practice. Let me say it again, practice makes perfect. And that's it. I think I'm done talking. Thank you much for attention. I hope my tips will help you to at least give audiobooks a chance. And please, if you have any questions, suggestions for future videos, or maybe some clarifying questions for this video, leave them below in the comments. I'll definitely respond. Thank you much for attention, and stay tuned. Thank you.